Hello, and welcome to another episode of Todd Talk. When Todd Talks, people listen. Going Ghost! Yes, I did merge the Danny Fenton thing with Jake's thing because I'm feeling nice today. And yes, it is time for the Death Battle reaction to Danny Phantom versus the American Dragon Jake Long. And while it was touch and go for a bit, I won again. Yes. I am on fire this year. In fact, my only defeat is Gray versus S Death. So it's gonna be good. But I might lose in the next one. We'll see. Anyway, this battle was very anticipated, and it even had the creator of Danny Phantom, Butch Hartman, chiming in on this. If you haven't gone to their Twitters yet, check out Wiz Boomsticks or Death Battle's Twitter handle, and you'll see that the Butch Hartman of Fairly Odd Parents and Tough Dog and Danny Phantom fame not only wanted to comment on it, he drew a picture of him talking to Wiz and Boomstick about Danny Phantom's abilities, and he drew a picture of Jake versus Danny. It was totally awesome. So yeah, definitely go check that out. But yeah, the battle itself was very fine. It was fun seeing their comparisons between Danny and Jake, and much like I said, there was a lot of similarities for them. This technically wasn't a stomp. Like a lot of people saying, "Oh, Danny just straight up owns this," and I guess from a certain point of view, that is true because of his overwhelming power. But in terms of speed and versatility and everything, uh, it's not exactly true. And Jake, as I was watching the breakdown, Danny shoots lasers, but Jake has dodged lasers. Again, Danny can go invisible, but Jake has dragon senses. So it goes to reason that that would I did catch on the like the this the bar that comes up on the screen. They go, oh, Danny's never or Jake's never seen invisible enemies. I'm like, well, he's never really had to face invisible enemies to my remembrance, but it doesn't matter. It's a small beef, and but yeah, the only thing that really surprised me was just how short it was. I mean, I think this was one of the shortest episodes of the season outside of maybe Black Canary Sindel. Trying to remember how long that one was, but it was just really short, and I hated that because it's like these guys have such a breadth of history in terms of their 3 seasons and 2 seasons, and they're very popular shows. So I was kind of surprised it didn't go a little bit longer. I mean, maybe they didn't feel they needed to. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's interesting for sure. But the battle itself was actually surprising to me because as I'm watching like the time tick around, I'm like, how long is this fight actually going to be? Because I was wondering because of course it's the fight, then the breakdown, then the teaser at the end. So I was wondering how deep they were going to go with this, and sure enough, they went really deep. I was very impressed by using the breadth of abilities and not generally teasing how it was going to end. Like for example, usually you'd think that the ecto whale or would be the finishing blow, and yet it wasn't. He used it once, I believe, and it was just to knock Jake out of the way, and that was really really cool. And then he used it as his regular ecto blast ghost rays to defeat him, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And Jake turns into a ghost, and of course he has the thermos. This is my Shazam cup. He had the thermos, and he sucked it up. I saw some people saying, "Well, that's the mildest death battle ever." And he's like, "Well, remember, he's a ghost, so he's dead, and now he's gonna be trapped in the. Technically, he's trapped in the thermos until he's returned to the ghost zone. So, like, he's trapped forever, right? So Jake's done." Okay, so don't talk to me about mild, okay? And besides, he was vaporized. They could have ended it right there, but we've seen a lot of vaporizations over Death Battle, so they had to, change it up. And again, that's Danny Phantom thing. He catches ghosts. So I was actually relieved a little bit because if you recall the end of Jake's Death Battle breakdown, they talked about his one weakness being his the weakness to Sphinx hair, and then they were in an Egyptian museum, and I'm like, Danny's not gonna like use Sphinx hair unintentionally, right? Because I'm like, there that would be so cheap, and I would have called them out for that, but they didn't, thankfully. So we're all good. But yes, Danny won. Very happy. Again, I think it was because of the shortness of the thing, or maybe they just didn't think it was relevant. But I feel like they kind of skipped a few things, they didn't do the whole. I mentioned in my preview video, which by the way, thank you all of you for watching that preview video. It was apparently one of my most popular preview videos ever. I have over like 800 views, so that's definitely like higher tier. So thanks for that. Um, like they didn't talk about the overgrowth feat where they froze that solid and then like froze like the entire town and whatever. And with Jake, they didn't mention his underbelly weakness or the left ear. It's kind of weird, but sometimes you just it didn't really matter because Jake obviously wouldn't have revealed that to Danny, and Danny wouldn't have found that out more than likely. So, and as noted, his possession ability was something that Jake couldn't counter, and eventually just his power would just overwhelm his dragon scales, which we know is possible because dragons can die. So it's all good. But yes, Danny Phantom won. My wins continue, and it heads us into the mid-season finale. And oh my gosh, they're doing it. They are freaking doing it. We have She-Ra, Princess of Power, versus Wonder Woman, Amazon Princess. Now, for those of you who don't get this joke, all right, there has been a long-standing debate about who is more powerful, She-Ra or Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, as seen in the Thor death battle, is easily one of the greatest fighters in the history of comics, period, and has both the godly power and godly weaponry to back that up. But with She-Ra, this is a He-Man situation, and She-Ra has the powers of He-Man and more, and a lot of people say she's freaking OP. So the question is, which one is more OP? And I know a lot of people are going to complain like, oh, they're just trying to cash in on the recent ending of She-Ra, Princess of Power. Yeah. So, if it gets them more views, who are we to complain? All right. And but this battle is going to be awesome. I'm sure, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 3D death battle. I would hope it's a 3D death battle, but and if not, I'm going to be very surprised. But unless it's hand drawn, which I don't think I would want for this one. I really didn't. The hand drawn thing only works in certain ways. I'm serious. Like when it was Jack versus Afro, I really liked it. When it was Mask versus Deadpool, it was cool. I didn't really like um uh, dang it, I lost his name. Gino. Gino versus War Machine. I really didn't like that one in that hand drawn style, but we'll see. Anyway, but that is indeed our mid season finale. Then after that is the 10 weeks of DBX, and then we'll return, a few months from then. So here's hoping for a very fun and hopefully long Death Battle mid season finale. So with that, I'm ending this episode of Todd Talk. What did you think about uh, Danny Phantom versus Jake Long? Are you happy that Danny won? What do you think about She-Ra versus Wonder Woman? Let me know in the comments below. So I thank you for watching. If you made this far, I know you were listening, and I'll see you around.